So in this case, to resume with the creation of our grid, and I am using a triangle here to make sure that the lines are perpendicular to each other. That is, they will be at 90-degree angles when they are drawn. Now you can see my numbers going down the left-hand side. So I'll continue with those. And you don't have to worry about them being in the way. As the painting develops, we will just wipe them off and paint over them. But in order to try to find your place among all these squares, it helps for each one to have its own letter and its own number. So now we're going to continue with this process of mapping out the basic shapes. Remember, we've already posterized our image, and the posterization process gives us value shapes to work with, which will make your whole painting endeavor easier to follow and understand. So right now I'm going to drop down into G2 because it looks like we actually didn't get to G2. So I see that the first line is kind of a little more than halfway up, and then it goes down, and then it curls over. You want to be as careful as you can with these, but remember also that there is room for change. So if your shapes don't come out exactly the way you think they should when you are finished and you look at everything, you can easily go back and wipe off the pastel, which is why I favor the pastel over a pencil. Graphite pencil will be very difficult to erase, and the acrylic paint is resistant to the graphite surface. So now I'm over in H. I don't see anything happening in H. It's pretty empty, so I'm going to go back into G, and I'm going to go into G4. So this is my G column, and this is my 4 row, and I see that the hair kind of cuts across the corner like this, wiggles down, goes up, so it comes out again, crosses, row 5, and a little bit comes up, and just a whisper goes over into H. Okay, now I'm still in the G column, and now I am in row 5. So I'm going to look at where the hairline intersects the bottom of G5, and seems to be right about here. Cuts in a little bit, and up like this, over, and then down with a little sliding wiggle. So you might think of this process as taking a hike in the woods with a map to guide you. So now I'm going to go down into G6. This is row 6 and column G. So row 6, column G, getting somewhat to the end of the hair. So it's going to cut in about here, Some more wiggles up this way and out in this direction. And oh, maybe a little more than halfway over for the hair on that side. And we'll continue to come down. And we are in F7. F7. So as you can see now, we have the overall outline of the hair, the little bit of the shoulders, and we're going to continue to just finish off the shoulders in column B, right along the line between 7 and 8. Row 8. Shoulders dip over just a little bit. So now here you can see the basic outline, and what will be important to a lot of people, of course, will be the features of the head. And so as you can see, his right eye is indicated by this shape. Remember, you won't be drawing an almond. You want to avoid drawing an almond. We're going to look and see now what we can do with the other eye. The shadow shape is what we're looking for. Shadow shape is what we're looking for, and we are in column F, row 5. So the darkest shadow shape is what I'm drawing now. Up into row 4, we have some of the shape of the eyebrow here. It's a little bit of a curl underneath the eyebrow. So these are our basic eye shapes right now. We're going to look at the hairline. You can see that the hair meets the forehead in column E, right between 3 and 4. Right between 3 and 4. Then the hairline starts to dip down in column F and row 4. And we can continue the edge of the face in row 5, column F, 5F. And the further edge of his left side, looks like it's our right side, it will be coming into row 6, and we are still in column F. So here's the edge of the hair that we created before, and we will be meeting the side of the face with the neck. Now on the other side, in row 6, in between C and D, we have an almost straight line for the edge of the face, and that's going to come down almost straight into row 7. When you see the shoulder shape goes back in there. Now the hairline cuts over here just a little bit, and then we're up into row 5, and we see the hair sort of curling in this way and slanting down this way. We have an almost triangular shape up here. And almost straight in this part. Now you're thinking to yourself, well, gee, Professor, maybe these don't look very much like eyes. But remember, we're not drawing what we know about the shape of the eye. We're drawing the shadow shapes. And that is going to create a very real presence, even though we're not drawing the eye itself. So now if we go back into row 7 and into column E, we can see the chin coming over here. Doesn't go all the way over because over here is more shadow. And the shadow shape goes up here, comes down, and back across this way. Now the nose is here. It's just inside column E. And remember again, we're just drawing these shadow shapes. And they can be adjusted at any time. In the middle of row 6, pretty much at the line between D and E, we have the end of the shadow side of the mouth. Coming up a little bit for the lower lip, and then over here again for the shadow shape. In row 6, the mouth will be coming this way, and a little bit of highlight will be coming over here. Shadow under the jawbone. This creeps up into row 6. And comes down to swoop under the chin that we made. Cuts across row 7. And it ends about here. Coming into row 8, crossways a little bit, down, and up almost into the next intersection, which is up here. he has a little amulet on his necklace, and that is between D and E. It's in row 8. The deepest shadows coming in over here. Crossing over in 8. So you see, almost all of this will become one shadow color. We do have to make some lines up here in the forehead. So right now I am in column E, row 4. And there's some smaller midtones in here, but I'm not going to worry about those right at the moment. These will be our larger midtone shapes, so I'm going to look at his cheek right now, which is in 5. And comes up here to create the nose. There's some other mid-value shapes. Column D, cutting over this way. And all the way down into C10. Those will be some of our midtones.